Welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. The show that gives you the lowdown on how to become a successful real estate entrepreneur. With more than 30 years of experience, America's top female real estate investor Dwan is an expert in financial freedom and turning dreams into realities. Now's your chance to become a Dwandernaire with the help of Dwan. Here's to a flaming hot foreclosure market with the help of Dwan. Cheers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwan Bent-Twyford. I'm America's most sought after real estate investor. I'm so excited that you're listening to me today or watching. So I'm in my living room, some podcasting from the living room. You should check it out. I have a pretty cool house. Look at that awesome fireplace, custom built. My husband and I actually made those ceilings. That's just wood trees off of our property that had fallen. And we stripped them down to, I think, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and made our own ceilings and just all kinds of really neat stuff. So custom floors, see the floors? We spent a fortune. Well, we had the floors stripped down, and we had them put down. One time it looked like an old saloon. So we had a guy over here in Bailey that has a lumber mill. He ran them all through the planer, got them all smooth, put them all down, got them sanded, but they're sealed, but they're not like put together like, where they click into place. So all put down. And that's pine. And as the wood shrinks, it gets spaces in it, knots in it, and all kinds of stuff like that. And we spent a fortune on the nails. We bought these special nails that are big, square nail heads like they use in the saloons from like the 1800s. And every nail in this room had to be hand nailed. So my son, when he was 11, maybe 12, maybe 13, 12 or 13, he hand nailed every single nail. Well, I think the girls helped a little bit. They were working on something else. But there's so many nails in this wood. It's crazy, but isn't it really pretty? It's all pine, and it's real rustic. If you scratch it, you just like buff it, and the scratch looks fine. Like it was made that way. So the nice thing about the floors is you can literally walk on them with heels, boot, roller skate in the house, whatever. And the more knocked up they get, the better that they look. So anyway, so that's super cool. So welcome to my living room. And it's the last week of October. So this is time to start your engines and get ready to do your short sales. This is the time. And although there's always a time and there's always a good time, this is the time when the banks are heavily in your favor. But before we get into that, I want to read you a 5-star review. After last week getting my review from my girl Angel, I started reading them in advance. Anyway, this one is from Brad Langan, also from iTunes, or Apple. This is Apple Podcast. And it says, best investing advice. Dwan is very knowledgeable about investing. Her style is incredibly engaging. And the info is very helpful. I'm familiar with her topics. Aw, I'm engaging. I like it. And you're familiar with my topics. Awesome. So there you go. You want me to read your review? You got to leave 5 stars and write something cool. And there's a good chance that I will read it. I have, I'm coming up on 1,100 5-star reviews, which is really high. So again, thank you so much for that. It's mind-boggling to me. But that many people have taken the time to write a review, so I really appreciate it. And you know what's funny? The more reviews I start getting, the more I start leaving reviews every place I go. I usually would write a review here and there, but I'm really good now about every single place I go. I eat, especially restaurants, and I leave a review. And I try to, unless it was just horrible, but I don't want to leave anybody a negative review, because I don't want to hurt someone's review based on the fact that I may have gotten a waitress that day, a waiter that was having a bad day, or a chef that was having a bad day, or didn't show up and somebody else was doing it. But I try to write 5-star reviews because it really does help your business and your Google ranking and things like that. So I am very good about writing reviews now. And a lot of that is thanks to all of you. Also, I started in October 2019. So in October 19 to 20, 18 to 19 to 20, 2021. No, I started it in 59, 6 months. Yeah. So in October of 2018 is when I published my first podcast. So October 18 to 19, then 19 to 20, and 20 to 21. So I'm going into my 4th year this month. I'm going into my fourth year going in. So I've done 3 full years of podcasting. I don't even know why I started in October. I had just taken a bunch of classes because I didn't really know about podcasting. I had been being a guest on podcasts for a decade. And then one day I was like, I'm a guest on all these shows all the time. Maybe I should look into podcasting. And I did not realize what a giant medium it was. Probably a lot of it's just because of my age. People listen to podcasts on their phones. And if I'm listening to anything, I'm listening to music. So I started learning. I took a class. Like a lot of my students, you all get classes and you don't do it. I took a 30-day class. It was 30 days with 30 days of homework. I did every single lesson and every piece of homework because I want to learn about podcasting. And then since then, I've gotten a mic and I've gotten a better camera and, I've upped my game a little bit. I still like to do them around my house. A lot of people have studios and they use these green screen backdrops. I personally don't like those. I don't know. I just never see one that I think looks like it's on a green screen. So nothing against all you green screeners. And now that the summer's over, I'm going to start podcasting outside here. And it's really beautiful outside. It'll be winter soon. So now I'll be in Florida. I'll do it outside some there. And I don't know. It's just I've really come a long way. I started off with just rambly shows that were 45 minutes to an hour. And I just started learning and reading more and noticing a lot of people that interviewed me had like half-hour shows. And I started reading and reading and reading more and more and more and more. And realizing that people do podcasts in their net time, which means no extra time. So if you're driving from here to the grocery store, you'll put in a podcast if it's an hour long and you hear 15 minutes of it. Most people don't loop back. So over the time, I have shortened my podcast down to 15 minutes, except when I interview people. Because when I'm interviewing somebody, I want to dig inside their mind and find out what is inside of the mind of that millionaire or that business person or that person on their way to becoming a millionaire. And I don't feel like you can do that in such a short amount of time. So my Inside the Mind of my Thursday shows are usually 45 minutes. So on Sundays, I have the Business by the Book Bible study, so I added that. Tuesdays are my show, which is always, I started on Tuesday, I'm still doing Tuesdays. And then now on Thursdays, I do Inside the Minds of Today's Millionaires. And on some of the Saturdays, I'm not doing them right this very second. I do Investing on the Go. But it's really hard to wrangle my husband in and get him to record enough of them for me to keep that series going. So I branched off to 10 shows a month instead of just on Tuesdays. And this way I can cover each topic in a little bit specific more detail. Instead of in the beginning, I remember I listened back to some of my first couple, and it's like, oh, I have to teach you this. No, I got to teach you this first. Oh, I got to teach you that. And I was so hell-bent on trying to teach you everything I knew about investing in like 3 or 4 sessions so I could talk about investing. And then I started to realize, not right away, obviously, like a year that people like shorter podcasts. And if I would just stick to a topic, I could cover that one topic in more detail. So some of my beginning shows where they were just super like, here's what you need to know. These 25 things to help you learn the next 25 things that are coming. I've gone through some of those and taken out some pieces of things where I thought, wow, I covered that in 3 sentences. Like nobody can learn that in 3 sentences. Because I want these podcasts, I want you to look forward to them, first of all. I want them to be really educational. And when you hear whatever the topic of the week is, it's going to be something that's going to be very detailed about that topic. Because in my heart is I'm a teacher. I want to teach you how to be a successful real estate investor. I am, my husband is, all 3 of my kids are. Most of my friends and family at this point, my husband's, like all of us invest in real estate. And everyone does really well. We've broken that curse of generational wealth. And there's a lot of great things that have happened because of investing. And that's what I want for you. I want you to have generational wealth and get out of your financial troubles and get out of your binds and work for yourself and be your own boss and maybe someday start your own podcast. And I just want you to have freedom. I want you to have freedom. So I'm kind of celebrating myself today. I actually have a podcast later on today that's live. So I'm not drinking or having a toast with you, but here's to a fake toast. That would be tequila. When I have my shots, I'm still a diehard tequila girl. But I'm recording this today, and I have a podcast that's live. It's an hour and a half long, so if I have tequila now, I'm not exactly sure how sharp I'll be. Or, I don't know. I guess one shot wouldn't hurt me, but then I'll have a second one, and then you'll be like, oh, what happened to Dwan? It's like the middle of the day, and she's gone. So we'll just have a memoriam. Just, a shot. There you go. Yay. So I'm going into my 4th year. 4 years. Oh, my gosh. It's so amazing. It really is so amazing. It amazes me. And the more I do it, the more I love it. And I think getting the 5-star reviews and getting all the good feedback and having so many people that opt into my Dwanderful.com and get the free ebooks and all this stuff, it's just, I don't know. It's like the more that you guys get involved, the more excited I get about teaching and sharing all the things I've learned in real estate investing over the last 30 years. 30 years. My daughter will be, in December, she'll be 33. So I've been investing for a long time, and I still love it. And I love to teach it. And I love podcasting. And if you notice, my hair's been pink for a long time. If you look back at some of my earlier shows, I had short hair, long hair, blonde hair, brown hair. No, not blonde, black. Oh, I did have some blonde. I went through 100 colors trying to find my groove for turning 60 and being in my 60s. And once I did the pink one time, I was like, and the purple, see the little purple underneath? Always there's some purple under there. I was like, you know what? That's it. This is who I am. I feel like on the outside, the way I look is how I feel on the inside. So happy and pink and purple. Plus purple is royal. So who doesn't want to have a little royalty in their hair? And pink is just like, you know what? I love myself. I don't give a shit what you think. That's what that says. So I just wanted to celebrate for a minute and just tell you how excited I am that I'm going into my 4th year. So I guess a lot of people do their podcasts in seasons. And I've asked a million people, what do you consider a season? And some people are like, every month is a season, every quarter is a season. Every year is a season, so nobody has a straight answer. So I'm just doing them by the year. So I am entering my 4th season. 2018 October to 19 year, 19 to 20, 20 to 21. It's like, wow. I really can't believe how much time has passed either. What the heck? You guys were on with me when I turned 60. Remember we drank tequila that day. Woo! Oh my gosh. It's just so crazy. Life is so crazy. I'm having a super amount of fun right now. So I'm thankful to you all. And I know I said we were going to talk about short sales. But what I just want, I guess now that I went on about my seasons and I'm 12 minutes in, right now is the time to get, if you've been thinking about it and like, oh, I don't know, the market, COVID, there were no foreclosures, nothing was going on. I'm telling you, man, short sale season is like open. It's like how hunting season is open. Short sale season is open. It is open for business because millions of people haven't made their payments and the forbearance is over. Millions. And the banks are not looking good as far as the amount of defaulted loans that they have, because once the forbearance agreement was over, now those loans have fallen into default. So when the bank has too many defaulted loans, it has a harder time. So banks borrow money from big banks, like worldwide. They lend it to the banks, and then the banks lend it to you. So on the giant scale, they charge the banks interest, and the banks charge you interest. Well, when interest rates are low, banks aren't making as much money on their money because interest rates are low. But if a bank has too many defaulted loans, when they borrow from the big bank, they have to pay a higher percent. Now that percent might not be a lot. It might be a half or a quarter of a percent, but on billions and millions of dollars, it's a lot. They can't charge you more if the interest rates are nationally low and your credit is good, or you'll borrow from somebody else. So you get into a season like we're in right now, this bank, like Wells Fargo, has to borrow from this giant bank, and they have too many defaulted loans, so up here they have to pay more to get the money, but they have to still lend it to you for the same amount. So they fall short, and the margins are cut a lot. And so once the margins are cut, then the banks start suffering on their money. Then when the end of a year rolls around and there's been a pandemic for all of 2020 and 2021, they're like, hey, we can get hundreds of thousands of houses off of our books because all these investors are doing short sales out there. The banks will take up the opportunity to do that, to clean up the books by the end of the year. That's their goal, is to get the books cleaned up by the end of the year. So, short sale season, it is open. Dwan's fourth season, it is open. If there's anything you'd like to see me talk about or discuss going into the fourth season, or any ideas how to make the show more fun, or just something, certainly feel free to reach out to me at info@dwanderful.com, opt in to dwanderful.com, or reach out at Dwanderful on Facebook, on the gram, and on the book, and Dwantastic on TikTok. And just, give me some ideas, give me some kudos, give me some praise, whatever. Just tell me I'm doing a good job and to keep doing it. That's all I want to hear from you. All right? No negative stuff. And I just want you guys to realize you're in the money-making part of the year. And even though all year long is great, it's never as great as the last quarter. And with COVID for 2020 and the moratorium, now that's over, investing season is open. All right, guys. Dwanderful.com for some free stuff. The equity this week is family. We're coming into the holidays, and I know so many families. I haven't talked to my mom or dad or brother or sister or cousin in 3 years since we had this issue. It's like, oh, for the love of God, get over it. We're coming into the greatest season. It's Christmas. I mean, look at my Christmas corner. It's ready. It's always ready. It's there year round to keep the spirit alive. And Christmas, of course, is not about the gifts. It's about the birth of Christ. So keep that in mind as well. But as we're coming into the family, into the holiday season, a lot of people are struggling financially. A lot of people haven't seen family for a long time because of COVID. Families are literally dividing over getting a vaccination or not. So I want you to show some love to somebody in your family that maybe you've been on the other side of the fence. Right now, there's like a vax versus not vax. And there are families that are literally not speaking to each other. It's ridiculous. So reach out. Show your family some love. Meet in person if you can. Give a hug. I mean, gosh darn, I sure miss getting hugs from people. So it's time, hug. This is me sending you a virtual hug. All right, so the truth is in the red letters. We're back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Ciao.
Thank you for dropping by to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever, making real estate investment wonderful each and every time. And for more information on how to make your real estate dreams a reality, keep an eye on Dwanderful.com and be sure to become a member.